All right, what are we going to do first?
Do the same thing to both sides.
Well, shouldn't we get rid of subtraction first? Okay, I think that's what some of you keep forgetting to do. And you lost a negative sign in there. All right, so how do we get rid of subtraction? How do I get rid of subtraction? Subtracting is the same thing as
Adding a negative.
adding the opposite, not necessarily a negative. Okay, all right, now we can do the opposite of it. So what is the opposite of negative 13.2? Positive 13.2. All right, so here I get 0, so we've been successful in isolating the variable. Now, if we think about this, here's 0. We go left because we see a negative sign. And then we go right because we don't see a negative sign. Are we going to end up on a negative number or a positive number?
Negative.
A negative. Okay. Right here is where we cancel. They cancel each other out. That's our 0 pair. So now I'm going to take 39 minus 13.2. Need a place value holder. Need to do some regrouping. And we already decided it was going to be negative because there are more negatives than positives. Okay, if you got that right, give yourself a pat on the back. If you didn't get that right, pat yourself on the head because you just grew your math brain. You did it wrong, but now you've learned something. Okay, do you see where you went wrong? Okay, those of you that got 52 point something, you added them because you lost the negative sign right here. That's why I want you to get rid of subtraction before you even start, okay? All right, and if you got positive 25.8, you forgot that there were more negatives than there are positives. Lots of questions you have to ask yourself. What could you have done to check your answer?
You could have insert negative 25.8 where X is.
Yep. So I could have done this and asked myself, does that equal negative 39? Copy, change, opposite, 8/10 and 2/10 makes 1/10. 5, 9, 39, they're both negative. So did it check? Yes. And that would be a good habit to get into, is checking it, especially when we're dealing with negative numbers and positive numbers, because it's easy to drop a negative sign. Okay? All right, so let's move on to lesson 3, although some of you are already done with lesson 4, which is awesome. Screen. Somebody's late. Oh, why did that go over there? There it is. There it is. Here. 1 second. Trying to see all of you at once. Okay. All right, so we did the chat problem. So what do you think we should choose? Creating a scaled copy means, are we going to choose adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing all sides by the scale factor? So,
Multiplying.
oh, I heard multiplying. Okay, anybody for adding? Give me a thumbs up if you're for adding. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're for subtracting. How about multiplying? I should see a whole bunch of thumbs up. Okay. Scale factor is a multiplier. All right, so we're going to look at this one. And I need to go back to this so I can draw it on here. Okay. I know it's kind of blurry, but I think we'll be okay. So what do I mean when I say I want to draw a scale copy using a scale factor of 4? What does that mean? Anybody? What does that mean?
Multiply it or add by 4.
Add 4? I heard multiply or add 4.
Multiply.
Multiply. We don't add, we multiply. Okay, if you remember in Tuesday's activity, when I think it was Tyler, he added an amount, it didn't end up closing up the figure. So this is a multiplier, so we're going to multiply all sides by 4. Okay, we are told that this side is 2, so the corresponding side is going to be how long? Sarah? Uh-huh. No, not 4. That would be a scale factor of 2. I want a scale factor of 4. This 8, okay? This side is going to be CB, that's a 1.
4.
That side's going to be your 4. And then if I were to just connect these, how long should that line be?
8.96.
Good. Okay. I have a question for you. What happened to the perimeter? What's the perimeter over here? How do we find perimeter?
You add
Add all sides.
Okay, 2 and 1 make
3.
3, and we add that to here, so our perimeter equals 5.24 units. Okay, what's our perimeter here?
20.96.
20.96. Tell me about this perimeter going to that perimeter. Is there a relationship?
You can multiply it by.
So if I multiply this by 4, do I get that? So what happens to the perimeter when I go from the original to the scaled copy? What happens to the perimeter, Zach?
It gets fourth.
So you're saying I divided it by 4, or do I multiply it by 4?
It gets multiplied by 1/4.
No, that's going from here to here. I want to go from the original to the scaled copy. I went from 5.24 to 20.96. So it got multiplied by 4. Okay? All right, so the perimeter also gets multiplied by the scale factor. So if I tell you the perimeter of something is 12 and the scale factor is 4, what's the perimeter of the new figure? The perimeter of the original is 12 and the scale factor is 4. What's the perimeter of the new figure?
48.
48. You just multiply it by 4. All right, back to the slideshow. All right, so the last slide is scale factor is the number you multiply by to get the side lengths of a scale copy. It is a multiplier. Now I put this slide deck on the Canvas page, so this is the summary of the lesson, okay? All right, what I want you to do now, I learned a trick yesterday. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Now, I did tell you never to use the app, right? The Canvas app. And that is because a lot of times the images won't appear. But I learned yesterday that the app is wonderful for being able to write on PDFs. So what I would like for you to do is go to the student app for Canvas. Okay, go to modules. Now this person hasn't done all the stuff because there aren't check marks there, but it's mine, so they'll let me into what I want to go into. So click on either the notes or the practice problems. I don't care. Click on the PDF. Now in the top right-hand corner, do you see the pencil? In the top right-hand corner, guess what that lets you do? If you click on it, you now can write and you don't even have to go into Acrobat. You can do it right here. So if I write on this, so if I draw that figure, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. So if I draw that figure here, and I draw this figure here, and I draw this figure here, when I get finished, I click on the box, so the square with the arrow in it, and it's going to ask me where I want to go, and I want to go to Drive. It's going to ask me what account, so I'm going to pick my school account. Then down at the bottom here, no, it's not. What the heck did it do? It worked fine earlier. Okay, so I'll write on that, and I'm going to click, and it's not there to click. Oh, there it is. It's down here now. Goodness knows why. I'm going to find my Drive. Then I'm going to select a folder. My Drive. I'm going to find my math folder. There it is. Going to put it in Unit 1. If you have lesson folders, you can put it in a lesson. Then you're going to click Save Here. And then you have to click Upload up at the top. And it will load it right on into your Google Drive. And you don't even have to use Acrobat. Okay? So if you use the app, you can use that for the PDFs. And sometimes the images will appear on the app. I think it depends on your internet, Because when I'm at home, the images appear fine, but when I'm at school, the images don't appear. So I think it has something to do with Wi-Fi. Okay? So questions you have for me about today's lesson? No? All right. Well, you've got notes to do, practice problems to do, and then you'll be done for today. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Miss Laird, I wanted to know if you could maybe email me the PDF because I can't find the pictures on Safari, on Acrobat, or on the Canvas app or web page. They're just not showing up.
The little PDF thing isn't showing up at all?
No, the PDF is showing up, but every time I go to edit it, on number 2, there's like no picture of any quadrilaterals.
Okay, I will send it to you. How about I put it in the chat? Maybe you could access it there.
Okay.
Let me see what I can do. It takes me a minute to figure all this out. It's Kristen, right? Kirsten, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll send it to you in an email. That will be the easiest. Okay. Let me go here. Email.